Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So, okay, for PI method, just put it in the chat. Please don't unmute yourself. And yeah, I'm going to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Just because people addicted to drugs doesn't mean you will normalize it as a government, no matter how much vulnerable no matter how much vulnerable actor is being impacted, right? The whole government case is only can run with the idea, it only can run with them running from the problems of smoking culture that is harmful for the people on the ground, and also about how this is harmful for the long-term impact and the healthcare as in a wide range, right? 2 points that I'm going to bring in my speech. Opening government idea regarding that tobacco needs to be inclusive because it's everyone needs in the end of the day. First thing first, we say no. Tobacco is a tertiary needs. What is happening in status quo is people glorifying a tertiary needs as it is a primary needs, right? We don't think this is something that is good in the end of the day, right? Because in an ideal world, tobacco only is not meant for underprivileged people because it costs on your health, it costs on your money, and we believe that underprivileged people at some point cannot access this, right? Because we believe that a lot of harm that is happening in the end of the day, right? But because we're not living in India world, like even if that yes, this everyone needs, but we believe that it is okay. This is a ballot that we will willing to take on sacrificing these people. Why is that so? Because we believe this is the justified action in the end of the day, right? Because we believe that uh, we need to understand about how underprivileged people tends to smoke, right? They tend to smoke like in because we need to understand when you smoke, you directly impact your healthcare, you impact your lungs, you impact like the pollution, which concludes on what? We conclude that it affects your health, but at the same time, because they're underprivileged, they don't have the capacity on supporting good healthcare. So what these people do? These people still demands the Sri Mulyani, the government, to pay for them. They ask for BPJS for you. They ask for BPJS because of this smoking habituation. We don't think this is something that is ideal, right? Because we believe that this action is form of reparation, so these people don't keep asking for BPJS, right? Because of their own fault. In order of the house, people that are asking for BPJS is probably people that sick, but not because of their own will of smoking every single day. We see that this is much more justified action of sacrificing these people in the end of the day, right? So second of all, I'm going to talk about the parameter of taxation in the end of the day, right? So we need to understand why something can be taxed is because is when we see of the degree of harm that is being happening, right? Because we need to understand when tobacco is cheap and the smoking culture is keep being normalized, we see there is no alternative for people to opting out from smoking. When we see that if the barrier to entry of smoking is not economy, then there is no alternative for people to stop smoking, and there is no incentive for people to stop smoking, which is going to be bad, right? Because we believe that smoking culture create a structural problem in the end of the day. What kind of structural problem, right? Because of how healthcare in Indonesia is not as good. How health rate in Indonesia, especially in poor neighborhood, is not that good in comparison, right? Why is that so? Because of the smoking culture that is being so high, right? Because and we need to understand, right? This smoking culture is not only impacting people that smoke, it's also impacted passive smoker. So what does it conclude? It concludes that the degree of harm is not only for yourself, but you are also harming unconsented people because of your smoke. So we believe that this is a degree of harm that is needed for them to be taxated, right? And we say that when this structural problem happens, who needs to solve this? The people that need to solve this is not people who smoke, but Sri Mulyani that has to pay and had to create a lot of fundings to help of to Ministry of Health for funding this, because it's not only for the people, but you also harming like when you're normalizing smokes, you are also harming your poor neighborhood. That's involves child, that's involve pregnant woman, that's involve a lot of unconsented people to your smoke, but you're also impacting their health, and they cannot even afford the healthcare. So it shows, right, the structural problem of poor people keep demanding on healthcare, but because of this smoker in the end of the day, right? But before moving on to Uji.
Why do we not ban smoking if it is so bad in OO?
Because we believe that privileged people can afford it. Privileged people probably have room to smoke. Privileged people have a good neighborhood that is not like dempat-dempatan. And we believe that they have the capability on affording a healthcare in the end of the day. So we believe that it's still justified for them to smoke, right? Because it's not like drugs that that is that bad, because we believe that there's a certain degree of smoking we can see, but we believe that the harm is not worth it for underprivileged people, especially when we're talking as a government in the end of the day, right? So opening government idea regarding that people are addicted to smoking anyway, and we say, yeah, this is bad because we view that people that is addicted to smoking, and they don't want, even when the taxation is high, they don't want to opt out. It's a really small amount of people, right? It needs to be people that really don't care about their food, that really don't care about their child education. So we believe that this is a really small part of people. But even if yes, we believe that is okay, because at max, it's a short-term benefit. It's a short-term harm, right, from their side of the house. In comparison, in opening opposition, we already managed to explain about how the degree of harm by these addicted people is harming unconsented people, about how it's harming, it creates a structural problem of healthcare, and that is problematic of like child and poor neighborhood because of those smoke. So we believe that this is in ours of the house, we create a long-term benefit, and we protect the most vulnerable actor, right? Which is the unconsented people that is being harmed by the smokes. It flipped the idea coming from opening up government, talking that people that is most vulnerable is people that is addicted to smoke. No, people that is most vulnerable is people that being harmed by the smoke of these addicted people, right? Which is a much more vulnerable actor that we need to protect, right? So what does it conclude? It concludes that opening opposition win this debate because we actually explain the structural problem created by the smokes and why this is a responsibility for Sri Mulyani to take this action in the end of the day. Proud to propose.